Thierry Embrace, Original Sin, Good News, Jerusalem Temple.
The Rendezvous tent only existed for a few centuries. Instead, the famous King David erected an incombustible temple, and his son Solomon did the same. The incendiary practice of Moses, who, let's face it, remains a twisted invention, thus found an end. Of course, the Jews had not understood the full benefit of such a construction. It is also in this sequence of ideas that Solomon once again allowed himself to be seduced in the sacrifices made to idols regardless of those made to Yah. The temple has since become a true instrument of filthy torture where massacres terrorized and livestock and citizens. Thus began to develop duties and privileges again, and citizenship and social harmony slowly gave way to barbarism and iniquity by weakening Israel until eventually being overthrown and the temple destroyed and rebuilt. Many times. Is it necessary to recall that the Wailing Wall of Jerusalem is a remnant of this temple from which Jesus loved to hide the merchants of sacrifice animals that would have been better to remain only a tent. This temple was perceived in all its glory as a prodigious construction. But Isaiah for his part declared that for God the whole earth was his throne, and that he did not need a temple in these terms.
Heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is house you will build for me? Where will my resting place be? Has not my hand made all these things? And so they came into being, declares the Lord. These are the ones I look on with favor, those who are humble and contrite in spirit, and who tremble at my word. But whoever sacrifices a bull is like one who kills a person, and whoever offers a lamb is like one who breaks a dog's neck. Whoever makes a grain offering is like one who presents pig's blood, and whoever burns memorial incense is like one who worships an idol. They have chosen their own ways, and they delight in their abominations, so I also will choose harsh treatment for them, and will bring on them what they dread. For when I called, no one answered, when I spoke, no one listened. They did evil in my sight and choose what displeases me.
As mentioned above, Jesus went to the temple on a Sabbath day to heal a man with a dry hand. But this story and its introduction are much more revealing than what we have elucidated. So here's his important introduction. At that time Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry and began to pick some heads of grain and eat them. When the Pharisees saw this, they said to him,
"Look, your disciples are doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath."
He answered,
Haven't you read what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He entered the house of God, and he and his companions ate the consecrated bread which was not lawful for them to do, but only for the priests. Or haven't you read in the law that the priests on Sabbath duty and the temple desecrate the Sabbath, and yet are innocent? I tell you that something greater than the temple is here. If you had known what these words mean, I desire mercy, not sacrifice, you would not have condemned the innocent. For the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath.
If Jesus allowed himself to break the Sabbath prescriptions, he did not do so in David's way. He was doing it in a vegan way. Moreover, rather than deliberately throwing himself inside the temple to claim a piece of the leg, he went there to heal the dry hand. This account is therefore one of the most important passages of the Gospels in defense of our positions on the sin of the flesh. There is no need to specify the loud and clear expression from the book of Hosea, which clearly establishes the animals of temple sacrifices as an odious bruzeness against the divine will. But it is appropriate here to make a parenthesis about this meadow larger than the temple. Yes, of course the nature where the disciples were then is obviously a more spacious place than the temple. But the expression of Jesus refers rather to the idea that nature is more sacred than the temple. And this other idea suggests that all the luxury and refinement of the temple may be respectful, but it is only an initiation in order to gain respect for creation. A much more precious, noble and respectable place. And from this new conclusion arises the idea that avoidable animals of sacrifice should also eventually result in a whole vegan human culture respectful of animals and in harmony with itself.